Hi guys, Tuva here. Welcome to the next video. This one is the next in the series of the runes. This one is Ehwaz, and it's about duality. It's about power. It's also about living a balance. It's about moving forwards, as a lot of the runes are. It's also the 19th rune. But what does it mean, you ask? Ehwaz is horse. Now you have to go back centuries to find out why it might mean horse. Beasts that were so magnificent that men wanted to domesticate them for their own use. But before we go there, we have to think about what a horse meant. A wonderful thing, because you could ride somewhere rather than walk somewhere. It opened up scope for you to travel. So that was good for a lot of people, to be able to bring the world that was too far for them to go to a world where they could actually travel to. Also, the horse was so powerful, it would help them to do the harvesting, it would help them to till the seed. Sacred, because nothing could touch them. They were to be revered and looked after. The reason for this, Odin had a horse called Sleipnir, and he had 8 legs. Now you can look at this in different ways, guys, but to my mind, when I think about it, it's not actually talking about a horse, it's talking about power, influence. So how much more when you have a horse with 8 legs? It makes it more relevant to double the amount of power. The horse was used in sacrifice. It would bring them fruition in their crops for the following year. But also a relationship became very strong between the horse and the man. It tilled the earth, as I've said already, but also in war, the horse would take its rider and be with that rider through all his plights. Also drew carriages and logs and things that they needed to build with. So like when they were building their ships, the horses would bring the logs along. They were very powerful animals. Muscles were very strong. They could be used in many ways, but also revered spiritually for the link with Sleipnir, Odin's horse. As you can see on the altar today, I have the silver cloth and also the candle representing Freya. I also have another candle which is set in the sun. The 2 dual twins, Freya and Freyr, and also the rune. So it's a very simple altar, and just really talks, in my mind, about the duality of life. Everything comes in twos, and so this is a representation of the male female coming together, the fertility, the duality of life, consistency, power and speed, and all the relevant things that come from the number 2. So when we look at this rune, what does it look like? What are the representations for it? There we go. This is Ehwaz. It's just like an M, and so you can remember that, just like an M. It also means duality, and so the god and the goddess that we bring together for this is the twins Freyr and Freya. So you can see the spirituality of the female and the fertility and abundance of harvest with the male. The corresponding colours for this rune is silver, white and green. The body would be arms and the legs. The aroma, funnily enough, is grapefruit, which I've never really deemed as very strong. The element air. It is also associated with the sun. And when you think the sun is pulled across the sky by horses, yet again, relevance is made to that powerful animal, the animal we can't forget. He is our close companion and aids us in many ways, but also spiritually. If you ever look in the face of a beautiful horse, the eyes are like looking into the soul. They are so spiritual, so loving. If you get this rune in a reading, you know that maybe assistance is on its way, or maybe you will be giving assistance to somebody, because that's what horses do for us. They assist us. They are our equals. They're not below us. They're very intelligent animals. And if you look at some of the sigils of the time of the jewellery that was worn back in the old days, you would see two heads of two horses. Very significant, because they recognised just how powerful these animals were. Corresponded to the oak and the ash tree. It can also represent a partnership, like a marriage or a work partnership. So that would include finances and things like that. Partnership of marriage would bring through the fertility of children, which was something that would take them on a bigger path. Those children would grow up, they would have children, and hence it would progress. But also, when you have a partnership, you have to have trust, and you have to believe in each other and the beauty of that relationship. So at the end of the day, this is mainly about duality, beauty, trust, everything you could think of that when you look at a horse you can see and feel, because it is at the end of the day a miraculous bond between animal and human. Also, the horse is supportive when you're riding. It makes sure you're safe as well as you make sure your horse is okay as well. So there is trust between rider and horse. They can be so great to us, so worthy to us, so faithful to us, bonded with us, almost like they know our inner soul and we know their inner soul. And that bond is so strong. If we can take something from that and put it into our everyday lives with our relationships, our partners, what better life could that be? And Ehwaz is the rune to do this. So guys, I'm going to go straight into the path working now, because there's not a lot more you can say about this particular rune. It is mainly about the horse. Sleipnir is a good example of how Odin perceived his horse. Going to the path working now, guys. So if you'd like to get yourself comfortable and relax, because we need to take some breaths in through the nose on a count of 4. So, and hold for 4 and out for 4. And keep doing that, guys, while I just tap the drum. We can go into the path working. In through the nose, hold, and out through the mouth. As you do so, let yourself relax. Feel your body melting. Feel yourself happy and content. You are where you're meant to be. Let all thoughts, negativity or problems dissolve away. For this short period of time, you need to be in a good place. As you hear the drum and you do the breathing, you find yourself relaxing and able to feel at peace. You find yourself in a dark place where you've been before, and this place is Ginnungagap, the place before time, before anything was created, the primordial darkness. In the distance you see a pinprick of light to the left and also one to the right of ice, of fire. These elements are way off, for it's not time for them to come together. In the middle though, you can feel a rush of air, and there, coming towards you, is Ehwaz. And so we're going to call the rune Ehwaz. When you look in front of you is the rune door for Ehwaz. You walk through the door and find yourself face to face with Odin's horse Sleipnir. He looks at you and says, "Why are you here?" To which you say, "I've come to find out about Ehwaz and to find out about why it's so special and linked to horses." He says, "Get upon my back and I will take you on a journey and show you why we have this bond." As you gallop along, you can feel the air through your hair, and the breeze makes your clothes billow out, and you hold on to Sleipnir's neck for dear life, for he is going so fast. All of a sudden he stops and you find yourself facing a cave, and he says to you, "Have a look in the cave. There are things in there that you need to see." As you walk up to the cave, you see an abundance of cave-type people, dressed in furs, with long hair, sitting round a fire, and they ignore you like they don't know you're there. As you walk towards the cave entrance, you wonder what is actually in there that you need to see. As you go in, you see a cave person scraping the rock. You wait for him to finish, guys, and then you go over and have a look, and there's a drawing of what looks like an animal with long legs, a tail and a head, and you stand back and you look at it and you realise it's a horse, an amazing horse. But there's not just one of them, there's an abundance of them that have been drawn in this cave, and there are stick figures of men standing near them, and you realise even back then there was a link between between horses and men. So you come out of the cave and Sleipnir says, get on and I'll take you to the next place that you need to see. And he turns his head to you and says, did you understand what you saw? And you say to him, Sleipnir, it goes back a long time, this bond between horse and man. And he says, yes, they couldn't work out what these beasts were, but the beasts used to come and sit near them, and there would be a link, but not yet formed properly. They saw the horse as something spiritual, a beast that they needed to revere. But now you're going to see the next stage. You find yourself in a Viking village, and there's a pen with lots of horses in. Women of the village are putting furs on their backs and pads of material so that the horse would not get damaged when the riders got upon them. They looked after them well, washing them down and loving them like one of their own children. They meant a lot to these people, taking one. The horse just goes with her, no problem. She has something that she attaches to the horse's back with rope, and it is to till with seeds. And the horse happily goes up and down as she pulls it along, and it helps her to put the seed in the ground. If that was done by hand, Sleipnir says, it would take days, but with the aid of a horse, it cut the time in half. You now see the man, the Viking, comes out dressed for conflict, but it's conflict on his land. He needs a horse to take him there. He takes his shield and his sword. He gets upon his horse and they go galloping off to meet the others to go to the conflict. And the horse stays with his master, stays with his friend the whole way. So you can see there's a bond between them. You then get called back. Sleipnir says, you need to see the next bit now. And he then rides off again, going really fast. You now see a horse being slain spiritually. And what Sleipnir says makes some sense to you, even though it seems cruel to the animal. No, for he is saying the horse's master had died, the horse's family had perished, and he was heartbroken, for he loved them. So they sacrificed him so he could be with the family. He would be reunited, and it was kinder than allowing him to fret for them and maybe die of grief. So they made use in sacrifice to the gods as well with this animal. But then he was buried with honour with his family, treated just like one of their own. So the bond was really deep. You get back onto Sleipnir and he takes you for one more journey, and you go like the wind, and you see in the sky horses pulling the sun along, and he says, hail to the sun, hail to the sun goddess. You say hail. You then find yourself in modern day, and you see horses, even though they're not used in the same method now. They are still helpful. They still have a bond with people. You see some disabled children having lessons on the horse, and the horse is really sweet and kind back to the children, and it shows a bond that the children can accept and be so happy with. It opens their eyes to the spirituality of these animals. And you realise that this bond isn't just a bond. When you look at Sleipnir, you say, you are equal to us. You help us, and we help you. And it's dual. And we trust each other, and we work to the same goals. And we know that we are like twins. But spiritually, we honour you as well before Odin and yourself, Sleipnir. And he says, you understand, the horse is not just any creature. It has a soul so deep and old and ancient that it can be like you. And it has knowledge like you. And with that you say, that's amazing that the horse and us can help each other, but also be as one with the gods like us. And with that, Sleipnir says, I'm going to take you back now, back to where you started. But now you know what Ehwaz is about. Duality, transformation, moving quickly, and perseverance, and relationships, and bonding. And with that you find yourself so quickly back at the doorway, and you look at Sleipnir for one more time with his 8 legs, and he says, hail and farewell. He gallops off into the distance, and you walk through the door and find yourself back where you started. And when you're ready, guys, open your eyes, wriggle your fingers and your toes, and make sure you eat and drink something. For you have been with Sleipnir, you have been in the realms, and you need now to ground. Okay guys, well I hope you enjoyed that one. The horse means such a lot. It's about courage and trust and bonding together, and so I'm going to leave it there. Thank you to any new subscribers and welcome to the channel. Hope you enjoy anything that you watch, and to those returning, thank you also, and to those that are always with me, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate it. Wherever you are, whatever time of day, night or evening it may be, I wish you the best ever. House of Alang.